Welcome to my channel. Today's lecture is going to be on the creation of visualization dashboard or report creation. And what you are going to learn today will be uh, splitted into the following. One, how to import data into Power BI. At the end of the tutorial, you're going to understand the Power BI interface. You will also learn how to create a report in Power BI or how you can add the visions to your dashboard in Power BI. And I'm going to show you how to add interactivity to your report. Then I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can publish your report, how you can export it either into the PowerPoint or how you can publish it into the Power BI so that you'll be able to share with others. And lastly, we are going to also discuss how you can interpret the report after the creation. This is the Power BI environment. Once you launch the Power BI, this is what you're going to see. Now, this environment from here, where my cursor is, down here, that's the menu bar. The first bar you see is title bar. I've not created any project, that's why you are seeing untitled. And here you can search for whatever project you've created, whatever, anything you want to see. You can see those recent ones that I've worked on. I can just search on them and then click and move there. And if you come to this, my left, right hand side, this bar, you can see we have three icons there. This first icon is report view. That is, you can view the report you're working on, the dashboard. And then you can view it in terms of table, the data record as if you're in Excel. It's going to show you as if in Excel format, like columns and rows. And then you can see the model. The model view shows you the relationship between between the tables that you bring into the Power BI. If there is a link between a primary key and a foreign key in another table, the model is going to show you. So my table, if I click here, I've not brought any table, but this is exactly what it's going to show you. It's going to show you how one table is linked to the others. And this, the tabular view, that is to show you the data set in the tabular format. That is the rows and column. And then for the report, this is a page. This is where you can add the visuals to create your dashboard. Okay. Now, when you look at this place, rectangular, surrounded with dot line, this is an environment. This is workspace. This is where you can add your visuals. This is where you can do whatever you need to do. And then after it, you have filter. That is a menu where you can actually set the filters. You have visualizations. So these are some of the visuals that we have that you can use in creating your reports. If you look at this is a stack bar. We also have column bar. We have bar charts. We have a lot of them. You have donuts. You have pie charts. You have map. You can use as many as you want. So the data you are bringing, once you bring data into the Power BI, the data you brought into the Power BI is going to be listed here. You are into the tables, and you see the feed that belongs to each of the tables you bring into the Power BI. So I can bring in data from different sources into the Power BI. But one of the sources that I can, via which I can bring data into the Power BI is an Excel. And if my data is contained in Excel, so I can use this button, import data from Excel. If I'm bringing it from SQL, you can see import data from SQL Server. And we have other ones via which you can bring data into the Power BI. So I can as well use this button up here. Once I click here, I'm going to see all the files, as in through which I can bring in I can bring in data into my Power BI. So you can see all of them: text file, CSV, and I can connect to a website. That's the URL. I can also connect to SQL Server, data files, data flows, and many other ones. Okay, so I can click here to just link directly to the Excel, just like we have it down here. We also have it up here. Now, if I bring my data into this environment and I want to work on the data, that's when I use this transform data. So the new visual, the text bars, and all that. So I'm going to exploit them. And look at the menu. You have insert, you have modeling, you have view, you have optimize, you have so as we are using some of them, you get to know better about them. So I've demonstrated and I've shown you the data we're going to work on. So let's bring the data into the Power BI environment. So I'll click this button to bring the data and I'll locate my file wherever I put it. So my file is on desktop, so I go to the desktop. And once I go to the desktop, I'll look for the folder wherever you put your data. So mine is in this one. So I'm going to, yeah, that the file is open, so I have to close it. That's why it reviews to, you know, it reviews to call me. So I'll pick it again, then I'll open the file, and then you can see the file is loading already. And then you are going to see all the sheet, that's all the pages you have in your workbook. And here you can decide which of the which of the page you want to bring, which of the sheets you want to bring, you want to work on in the Power BI. So I'm bringing in all the worksheets that I have in my workbook because I need all of them. Now, if you look at this button, you have three buttons there. We have the load, we have transform data, and we have cancel. So when should I use load? When do I need to use transform data? If I want to edit, if I have a missing value, duplicate, and I want to do data cleaning, data preparation, then I'll use transform data. So that I'll bring it into the Power BI and I'll do a little adjustment, work around before I'll start my analysis or before I start creating my report. But if I've done the cleaning, the preparation elsewhere, probably in SQL, Starter, or Python, and I'm all like just bringing it here for just to create my visual, my report. So I'll just load directly, and that is my own case. There is no any duplicate in my data. There is no any, outliers in my data. So I load the data, and that's why I click load so that it will bring it in and I'll start creating my report immediately. Now we can see. Now, if you come back to the my right hand side here under data, you can see I have all the tables here now. See the first table, average over the time, and then I have sales over time. I have sales, by category, and I have sales, by the region. So all the tables that I have here, I can also, I can fill them in tabular form. So this is the first one, and I can select, if I want to see the sales over the time, I'll just click it, and you can see it's showing me the total sales, and it's showing me the time. That's how much were made by this date, how much were made by this date. So you can see I'm seeing it. And then I can also check the sales per, category for Akura, how much sales Akura were able to make on Akura, how much sales were able to make, made on Audi and so many other ones. So that is what you are seeing. And if I come to the model view, you can see there is no relationship between the three tables that I have. All the tables contain different. There is no primary key and secondary key that link them. That's why you're not seeing it here. So you will see the model, you see the link in a situation where you have a primary key that is linking to a foreign key in another table. But in this case, we don't have it. So this is what we have, okay? So I'll go back to my report, and then I can go to tabular view so that I'll take a look, study my record in case that there are outliers or anything. So I can check fill by the region, and you can see what I have. So no duplicate, no empty values and all that. So that means I'm good to go, and I can go to my reports, okay? So in my report, now we've demonstrated how you can, import data into the Power BI. That's the first time I've just finished demonstrating that. Then by now, I've also showed you, like introducing you to the Power BI interface. So now you know the menu bar, and you know how you can bring in the data into the Power BI. So the next thing I'm going to discuss is how to create, your report, how you can add visuals to the dashboard. So this is the environment where we're going to be adding our visuals, and this is where we're going to create our dashboard. So if you look at the record we have, we want to show the total sales over a period of time. So the best chart we are going to use, or we can use, is line chart, since it has to do with timeline, like over the time in 2020, how much do we make? In 2021, how much sales do we were able in 2023, like that. So I'm going to use a line, a line chart, and this is once you place your cursor there, you see it's showing you this is a line chart. Just click it and it will appear in your dash, in your visual area where you can build the visuals. So what I'm going to do is, since I want to use it for sales over time, I'm going to click the arrow to show the columns that I have there, and I want to bring in the column. I want to bring the time, and I want to bring the total sales so that I can see it over the time. So once we can see what I am having now. And you can see what is showing me. I'm saying this is the year 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, and it's showing me the trend. You can see the movement of the sales from 2008 till 2012. So we're going to talk about how you can interpret this, but this is how to create it. So I'm using the line chart to show the trend, and that is what we have here at the moment. So once you put this, you can as well format this. You can format this. And how do you do that? So you come to under visualization, and then you can right click this one, because I don't want to call it sum for visual. Then I will change it to total 6, okay, for visual. So you can notice that this has changed to total 6, and then it's saying total 6 by year. Okay, now when you look at the y-axis, that's the vertically you're having total sales, and then when you look at it horizontally, you're having the year. So this is what you have, and then you can format it properly the way you want it. So let's format our visual, the line chart that we've added. So to do so, I'll go to format visual. I'll click on this guy, and then I'll go to general first so that I can work on the title. Say the title. So I want to work on this title. So it's showing total sales by year, but I don't want it to show that. What I want to put is, I want to say sales over time. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want this guy, and I want it to be a bit bold so that it will be visible, and I want to centralize it. Like I want to move it to the center. Then I also want to separate the title from my distance. So I'm going to enable the divider. So once I say enable, you can see sales over time. So it's showing me the title of this particular, the visual that I had, so that it will be easier for anybody to understand. So I can space it if I want, but I don't want to do so much on this. I've, done the little that I want to do about this. So I will go back to visual, and I want to work on the, x-axis. I want it to be bold so that people can see what is written there boldly. That's the value. I want to work on the value. I want the value to be bold so that it will appear more. That's the x-axis. You can see the 2008 to 9, the years are now appearing, more, better. So I can change the font size. I can increase the font size. Let me increase it small. So let me do, I'm doing 12, or let me do 10, I mean 11. I think 11 is okay. It's feasible like this. It's eligible. And then for the title of this, x-axis, I can make it, bold. And I can make it, this is 12. I want to put it 14 so that you don't have to open your eyes before you see it. So this is the little I want to do. And then same thing that I've done in x-axis, I want to do, equally do the same thing in the y-axis. Like I want to work on the value so that it will appear more. I want to make it bold, the value, you can see it. And I want to make it to be same thing, which is 11, like what I put in the other one. And then for the title too, I want to apply those things. I want to make it bold, and then I want to use for pin or 12 is okay. You can do it this way. I think this is good. And then I can also, if I want, I can edit the text that is there. So it's actually, this is title text. So, and I can change it if I want. But since it's showing me here, or total sales, so let me leave it. And I think it's okay for me the way it is. Now you can see the data value. If I want to show at every point in time, if I click this guy, so you can see in 28, we're having 28. In 2009, we're having 41. In the year 2010, here we have the peak 2007, and you can see it comes down. So I want to show that and I want to format it. Like I want it to appear boldly so that people can see it. So the label density, if I increase it, is going to show me more and all that. So the value is what I want to show. And then I don't want this, so I can make it, I can increase it. You can see it, and then I can increase the value. I want to make it 10 or 11, but 10 is okay for me. I want it this way. So these are things you can do. And I would advise you play around with this a lot. Take your time, walk around all these things and see how it works, because the more you practice, the better you become. Okay. So I've added this guy. This is the first one I want to add, and I'm going to add another one because I'm going to work on 4 visuals here. So the next one I want to add is we want to show the sales, by category, like the total sales categories. How much do we make per manufacturers? So for me to know, I think the best I can do is to use, for this guy, the best I can do is to use a bar chart. So I'll come back to the visual. This is the visual where I can pick and add. So I want to use a clustered column, bar chart. That's what I'm looking for. So I'll click this guy. Oh, you know why is this? Because I selected that and it's changing it. So all I need to do is to do undo. Then I'll click outside that place so that this particular one will not be selected. So it will know I'm trying to add another one. So I'll go to my column, bar chart. And once I add this guy, I'm having it here. And I can drag it, bring it up here where exactly I want it. And I can drag it and adjust it to suit my taste. You can see I'm having it there. And then I'll click on it and I'll go to the table, the specific table that I want to use. Since I want to use it for sales, per category, that's per manufacturer. So I'll pick this guy and I'll also pick this guy. And you can see what I'm having. So it's showing me, how much sales do we make per manufacturer. And even at a glance, you'll be able to, identify which of them. But for analysis, you can see the y-axis is showing manufacturer, while the x-axis is showing sum of total sales. That's not what I want to see. So I will come here, click it, and I'll click rename for visual, and I'll change it to total sales. I've changed this to total sales, and then you can see we now have them uniform. So what we're going to do is to format this chart, this visual too. So this chart. So what I'll do, I'll go to the format the property, the y-axis. I want to work on the value. I want the value to be bold, and I use color one and the other one. So I'll use the same thing here, and then I will go to the title of it. For the title for the axis I'm working on, I want to make it bold as well, the name, and I want to increase it to 14. So you can see. I will also do the same thing for the other axis. So I just finished working on the y-axis. So now I work on the x-axis as well. So I will go down, I'll do same thing for the value so that it will be, I will make it bold, I'll make it, 11. Then I will go to the title as well. I will make it bold, the text, and then I'll make it 14, the total sales. So it is even possible if I don't even want to show the year or anything. All I need is to click this guy. When I toggle it off, you see that the title for the x-axis will disappear, because since I'm working on the x-axis, so you can turn off any of the axes if you don't want them to appear, and you can work on the other one so you can exploit it and you see more. Now for this, you can see there's no number showing on this. We're just looking at the bar that this is the highest one. So if you want to see the value for each of the bar, you can actually go to data label. We have data label, so you can see the data label. I can on it. The moment I on it, you see where it is, and I can play around with it. I can make it inside, I can play it outside, and I can so many features. So you can exploit to see more, and then I can make it, the way it appeared. I can customize it, like the value. Maybe I want it to be bold, and I want to see, I can make it bold so that it will appear. Can you see that? So I can increase the, the value if I want. So depending on You can play as much as you want around it, so you can explore. I will advise you explore this more. Okay, so I will come to the general for the title. Since I put, the title of this bar, the title of this chart, I put it on top and I separate it with divider. So I want to separate this one too. So I want to say this one is representing 6. Um, 6 by I'll call it regional 6. I think it's better that way. Is this 6 regional? No, it's 6 by category. So I'll call it 6 by category. So it's 6 by category. So 6 by category. This is what I want, and I want to make it bold. Then I want to take it to the center. So I'll click, the alignment. You can see it's at the center. Then I want to separate that title from, the chart. So I'll use divider. You can see they are now looking alike. So I have this. So I'll not be able to do much formatting because of time factor, but you can see I have the two and they align, to themselves, which is making sense, right? So another thing I want to add, I'm going to add is for region, don't have more here. I think I have about 4 records inside this table. So you can think of what, for me, I just want to use either, pie chart or donuts, but I prefer donuts. So I'll pick this and I'll click these two guys. And you can see you're having my regencies, representing by this. So I can actually, and I can test it. I see which one do I like most. I think not, and if I don't want to use funnel just to show how, but I think I want to use this to show, and then I can mark this the way I want it. I can rename this actually to total sales to show I wanted to show total sales. I don't want it to show sum. So you can see the name will change there. And then I want to format it. So I'll go to format visual. And then this is the legend. That is what is showing is by the right. I want to put it, the bottom center. Yes, I like it this way. So you can see what I'm saying. Then for the text that is showing there, I want to, I want the text to be bold. That's for the legend so that everybody can see it. And then for the data label, that's the value that I have for them. I want it to, to appear more so that you don't have to, be opening your eyes before you could see. So I'll make it more, I'll make it bold, and I want to make it 10. I'm using 11 for that, so I can use this guy. And then I can actually specify the unit, whatever unit I want. But I think I'm good with this. So let me work with the title itself. I can do so I'll go to the general and I'll click on title. For the title, I want to change this and I want to call it sys, or I want to call it regional sys. So I'll call it regional sys. Okay, so I want the title to be regional sys and I want it to be bold. I want it in 14, just like the others. And then I want to centralize it. And I also want to divide it with a divider so that it will be like that. So you can see what I have here, and I love this. Now, another thing is that you might want to do is to separate this guy from the other one so that this chart will be separated from the one above. We'll take it here and I'll come here just to reduce it. And you can see, okay, I'm having this guy. And when you look at this one too, you can see there's difference. It has been separated now. So you can see we have two, they are being separated, okay? And then I want to align them. If I start, you see the line, this red line, you can see it's showing me that the thing is now, aligned and in the order that I want it, okay? So, I have these ones now. So we've taken care of sales, regional sales. We've taken care of sales by category, and then we've also take care of sales over the time. So for sales over the time, we use line trend, line chart. For sales by category, we use bar chart. And for the original sales, we use donuts. So for the original sales, over the time, this one and this one. So for the original sales, since it has to do with location, Nigerian, Ghana, and all that, instead of using donuts, I can use map. I can use map. I can use map. Instead of using donuts, I can use map. So since it has to do with location, so using map might be the best option for me. You can see the map that I'm using, and this is the map. I have Ghana and others. You can see the those ones. So you can as well format it. You can go to format. These are the map setting, the legend. The legend is not showing. But if I want, I can on the, if I on the legend, it will show me, but the legend is not showing the bubbles, the size of the bubble. I'm using auto here, then the colors of the bubble. We're having this color at the moment. So if I don't want this color, if I want something red, so you see, so whatever you change it to, you are going to see it there. So if we say show all, you can see, if you want to see, if you want to use different color for different thing, you can actually use different color for different. But this is what I wanted. The category labels, you can specify what category, what kind of labels you want for each of the categories. So you see, you can make it bold, the ones that has the locations and all that. So these are things you can do. And for general too, we've worked on that already. So these are what you have. You have the map. So in summary, we use for sales over time, we use line chart. For sales, by categories, we use the column bar chart. Then for the locations, that's regional sales, we are using the map. And for here, you can see Nigeria and Ghana, and by hovering it, you see what you need to see and all that. So, and even if you come back to the visual, like how do you know the values? How do you know the values? You can see, make it bold, and then you can increase the fonts if you want. And if you just showing, that's the map is showing what you have there. Okay, so and you can do more settings by exploring the settings and all that. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. And another thing is I want to use tables for detailed breakdown of all these things. So like I want to add small tables to show the figures in tabular form. So I can put that here. I can put that in this mini side. So the first one is I want to add the table. I'll click on this table, and once I have the table here, I want to show the over the time. So I'll click this guy in tabular form. I'll show this and I'll show this guy, and you can see it in tabular form. Okay, so I can adjust this guy and then make it available in this way. So I can add another table, and then I want to put another table by the side, and I want to do for regional sales. I'll do the country and the regional sales, and I want to adjust it as well. So I want to put it somewhere here. Okay, and I can put another table depending on how beautiful I want to arrange it. And this one now I want to use over the time. Instead of using over the time, let me bring this table to this side, and let me put this one here since it has larger value for over time. So I'm going to add the time, then the stuff, and I can expand this to show over the time as much as I want it. Then I can make sure they are all aligned. You can see the red line is aligning them now. So, and you will notice that this has a scroll bar. You can actually scroll to see the total and everything, and you see. And if you care to see the total, you can scroll vertically too to see the total and everything. So this is the table showing everything, and then lastly the other one, and then you have the table here, and then so you can see can have this guy too. And then you can also format all these things. All these tables can be formatted, and then you have what you want. Like I can right click this guy and do whatever I want there. So I can walk around it, click it and see how you can, you know, walk around the tables and all that. So if I want to um for a beautification, I'll prefer to, arrange it this way. Let me maintain the same size of it. And then I'll have this guy here so that all my tables will be at the same level. So no one will be bigger than the other. So since I can scroll and I can format it as well for the headings. Once I click this table, see, once I select the table here, I can come to format and I can set whatever value the column header is here. I can make it bold, and I can and I can as well, specify the columns, the cell, the image. So many things can be done here. So you can exploit. Please take your time and see how much exploration you want to, the level of exploration you would like, and you can do more things as you like. So that you can see we're having manufacturers, we're having, year, quarter, months, and all that. So if I even want to, this is showing you details level, but if I don't want, there's a way I can actually show this guy and then decide on what I want to see. So this how you can, put the breakdown tables alongside with what you have. But I would like to separate this table. I want to separate it so that it will be aligned with what I have here. Since I have this guy here, and then this table should go in line with whatever I have here, and it's okay. So another thing we can do that I've not covered here is I can actually, use another visual to show how many regions do we have, how many categories do we have. Okay, so for me to do that, I'll use what we call card. So I'll click card and I'll have it here. And for the card, I want to show the number of regions we have here. So you can see the region. So I'll say, instead of this, I'll say you should use count distinct. So it's telling you how many regions we have. So count of regions. But instead of saying count of regions, so I can go to formats, and in the format, I can, make the category, the label bold, and then I can walk around some things here. And then what can I walk around here is I want the value, see the font, I can change the font size, depending on so many things I want to do, I can actually do that. Okay, count of countries, that's the number of, country. And I can also go to, the general. And for the general, the headers icon, I can specify what I want, the auto text, then the title. I didn't on it, and I can put the title there. So if I want the text, I can add the text for the title, and I can, change it to whatever I want. So subtitle, I can also introduce a divider and, and I can turn off these ones here. Like, okay, so let me say the title, I want to say number of countries. Okay, so I want to show this guy and I want it to be bold. And then I want to make it 14 and I want to centralize it. Okay, and then I want a divider to separate it from the other one. So I have this guy, and if I'm using this so that it will not be like this, I can come back to visual, and under the category label, instead of this category label, I can have it and you'll see what I have. At least on top here, you are seeing, number of countries, you are seeing 4. Okay. So I can also do more. I can duplicate by, selecting this, copy it, copy, and if I copy visual and then paste it, and if I don't want to do, I can do this. And then instead of the number of country, I can use it to show how many manufacturers we have. So I'll say manufacturers should be here. So this should be, instead of country, this should be, I will come and click here. I'll say not the country. I want manufacturer this time around. And I'm going to say no, I want to count it just not to show the value. So it's telling me that we have number of manufacturers. And instead of saying for visual, I will rename it, I'll call it manufacturers. So if I do this guy, and then I'll go to the property and in the general, in the title, so I'll call it number of manufacturers. Manufacturers, number of manufacturers. So you can see the number of manufacturers. So we have number of countries, we have 4 countries, number of manufacturers, we have 3, 30 manufacturers. So these are these are how you can actually work around this. And then I can use this too. I can also use the card to show the average value. So I pick the card here. That's for the average value. So for the average value, I can copy and paste my, yes, I can copy the visual and I can paste it here. So you can see I have it here. So what then I can do is I can adjust the 3 so that the 3 we work together. I want to see where it's aligned. Okay, so this is aligned here. So I can put the 3 manufacturer. If I don't want it to go down, I can have it this way, and I can have this guy like this. And this one, what I want to show there is I want to use to show the average order value. So I'll click the average order value here. This time around is not so, but I tie this to sales to manufacturer, so I have to remove manufacturer first. Then I'll go to average value over the years. So this is the average value, and I go to the property format. I'll go to general, and I'll go to title. Then I'll call it average order value. So you can see what we're seeing here. And this, if I want to show the unit, you can show the unit. If I want to do so many things, you can do as much as you want. Okay. So this is what you're having. And if I expand this, let me show you something. If I expand this, you can see it's showing me in how many this thing. So this is what you have, and you can have this guy. This is average order value. So this is what you have here, and this is our page. And here you can actually reduce. I prefer and I always advise giving the space in between the visuals so that you'll be able to separate one from the other. And then you can see this guy, that is aligned with this other line, so that all will be on the same page. So you can see what we have. So far so good. This is what we have, and I've shown you how you can create a little dashboard for these classes, records. And with this, it's showing us, we can at a glance now we can see the sales over the time. We can see the sales by category. We can see the regional sales, and we can see the number, how many countries we have, how many manufacturers we have, and the average order value that we have, and we can see the trend and the the whatever we have. So now that we are done with our dashboard, with our report creation, before I start talking about the interpretation of the reports, I would like to add little interactivity to this one, so that I can add little interactivity. Like how can you interact with the report? So let's go and do that. Let's create a little space for top here. so that we can add a filter to this report. So with the filter, we can, interact with the dashboard. We can pick what we want to see and as a when we want to see it. Okay. So to add a filter to it so that I can filter the report based on whatever I want to see. And everything in the report will be changing, accordingly. If we're adding anything, everything will be changing accordingly. So for us to be able to do that, one of the first thing I'm going to add is what we call slicer. See, we have a slicer here. We also have another slicer here. So this is the new slicer, but this is the existing one. So I want to use this slicer. So I'll click this slicer. And when I click this slicer, you can see it here. So what do I want to use to slice? I want to slice just two things. I want to slice by category so that if I want to see the Mercedes alone, if I want to see the Lexus alone, if I want to see the Ford, across all these things we have here, so I'll be able to filter using the manufacturers. So I'll go there and then I'll say to the sales product category and I'll check the manufacturer because I want to see it by manufacturer. And you can see what I'm having here. So it's showing me everything there, right? So from there, I will format it because I want it as a drop down, and then I will just click something. I want it as a drop down, so I will come back here. I'll go to settings, formatting this, and I'll go to settings. And in the settings, I want to see it as a drop down. Yes, I want to see it as a drop down. And what do I want to be able to do? Like, I want to be able to select all. I want to be able to select multiple of them and I want to be able to see all. So if I click on this guy, you can see it's showing me, everyone, and I can choose, I can filter by whichever one I want to see. So I can see select all. So I want to be able to select all and want to be able to select one. So you can see select all and you can see select one. So this is the filter. And then, I added the filter here and then it has gone so see my filter here is here, so I'll take it to where I want to put it. I'll just make sure I select it and then I'll drag it to this is the category. I'll drag it to the top of the category since I want to show it by category, and I can put it here and then I want it to be here. So it's by category. Okay. So I can adjust it so that I can have a better place to I can have a better place. So with this, if I say select all, you can be looking at this sales by category. You see it showing all. So if I said no, don't show all, show me only Acura. What do you see? You can see everything here, has changed. Even this is showing me, showing me just the sales by Acura. I can say, okay, show me sales by Acura, sales by, and I can select multiple. I can not just one. So I can select multiple. I want to see Audi and I want to see Infinix. So she's doing select one. So I'll go back to that select all. So I'll go back to the visual because I want to be able to select multiple. I want to be able to select multiple, not just one. So I'll go back to the settings and said for selection, I want to be able to select multiple. If I choose select one, it's going to have a roundup. So this one is only one I can select at it. But I want a situation where I can select, more than one at a time. So I'll off this guy. So I have select multiple and I have this guy. So if I off this guy, what will be the difference? So if I come here, I can select Acura, I can select any one of them. So I want to be able to select all and I want to be able to select one. So you can actually use this now for interactivity to see all of them. You can see and you can limit what you want to see. Okay. So I want to put for original sales. For original sales, I also want to put for original sales, I also want to put filter so that I can interact with the regional sales, like I can filter the regional sales as I like. So I'll click on the the slicer as an add category, and I said the settings. I want it as drop down. Okay, so and I have this guy here, and then I'm bringing it here down here. Okay, and I'm reducing the fonts, and I have this guy. Okay, so that is that. And that will allow me, what that will do for me is to help me to be able to select whether if I want to see Ghana alone, you can see every other thing goes up. Where's Ghana? So it allows interactivity. I can actually interact with whatever I want to interact with. So you can see this. But select all is not allowed here. So I can go and enable delete so that I'll be able to select I'll be able to select it all anytime I need to select all. So I'll go here and I'll go to selection and then I will enable select all so that by the time I come here, I can select all. And when I select all the states or all the countries will be highlighted. So this is what we have so far. And this is what we intend to do in this now. So what you have learned so far is you've learned how to import data into Power BI. You now understand the Power BI interface, and you can now create reports in Power BI. You can add visuals to your dashboard. Now, the next thing is to show you how to interpret the report. So how do you interpret this report? Now, you want to start your analysis from here. So one of the first things you need to mention is you have how many countries do we have? 4. How many categories? How many manufacturers we have? 30. What is the average order value? I have 53.00. Then the sales over the time. From this from this chart, it's obvious that in 2008 till 2009, no transactions, no sales. And from 2009, the thing started, going up. In 2010 is better. The sales in 2010 is better than 2009. And it reached the maximum peak in 2011. But after the 2011, it starts coming down, decline in 2012. That's what this is showing us. Now for sales by category. So at a glance, we can identify that Mercedes-Benz has the highest sales, followed by Dodge, followed by Lexus, followed by Ford, and the Nissan has the lowest, sales over on the chart. And then for regional sales, we could see the country that participated in the regional sales. We can see we had a sales in Turkey, we had a sales in Nigeria, we had a sales in Ghana, we had a sales in Togo. And by looking at the size of the image, that red button you are seeing, that's what represents the size of the data, the sales of what we made in each of the country. You can see the Turkey has the bigger sales, followed by Togo, followed by Ghana, while the Nigeria has the least sales. If you look at what you have, okay, here. Now, another thing is, since this one is showing the trending, you can actually, drill down from this high level to the granular level. How do you do that? You can actually control that using some of the filters here, some of the things you have here. You can show the table, you can export, and this guy too, you can use it to expand the table to see the table, and you can use all these symbols. They have something they are doing. You can use it. So this is showing me quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 by quarter. And I can also use to even go deep down beyond that. You see, I can go deep down beyond that. This is showing me per year. This is showing me the breakdown. So I can break it down more to quarter. And even if I don't want to do that, you see, I can even break it down to the months. January, February, March, April, and all that. So to view each of the reports, you can actually click on and you see it and you can break it down this way. So by clicking all this, playing with these symbols here, you can do the drill down analysis and see. So I want to go back to the report and back to the report. And I'm leaving it on. So for you to go back to the way it was, you can have this guy and then you take it back to the way it is, which is per year. And even this one too, if you want to see it, you can, bring it out to the focus and during your presentation, so you can use this and it's obvious. You can see the under has the least one, which is 101, which is against the nation I mentioned before. So, and if you even scroll down, there are other more one. So you can see if Infinity has 29, which shows it has the least. And the Mercedes Benz has the highest one here, while Infinity, which has 29, has the least one here. So this is actually showing you the sales by category. So you will know what this will help the company to do is this will inform decision. So it will tell the company to buy more of the product Mercedes since the people, the patronage is high and there's much sales from there, and reduce the quantity of Infinity to buy since the market is not coming from that side. So you can go back to the report and here you are. And this is what you have. So just to confirm what you have here, these are the tables that shows the breakdown of the record of what you have on this. So now I'm done and this is the end of this tutorial. What I'm supposed to show you now is how to publish your reports. And it's easier to publish my reports. I can, let me close this so that we have a wider report for seeing. So this is what we have. This is what you are seeing. So for me to publish this report, there are so many ways I can do that. I can just go to the file and I'll go to, export. And once I click export, it will ask me, do I want to export it to PDF or I want to export it to Power BI template. So for Power BI template, you must have an online Power BI, not just the Power BI desktop. So and with this, you can exploit it to whatever way you want it to. Okay, that's how you publish it. Publish it to the Power BI template. Thank you. We have come to the end of this tutorial. For a detailed tutorial on how to publish report in Power BI, you can check my channels. I have other tutorials on how to do data analysis using SQL. I also have another tutorial on how to do data analysis using Excel. So check my channel. Please subscribe, share, and likes for further notification. Thank you, as we've come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you. See you next time on my channel.